Hello and welcome to Video Revealed. I'm Colin Smith. I'm going to show you how you can make your own door opening animation and also where to get my real 3D door opening animation. All right, thanks to our beta testers who are given credits in the door opening animation. And this whole thing was really prompted by someone reaching out and asking about a door opening animation, to which I started looking into it, and apparently it's a very popular thing. The problem with making a door opening in something like Premiere Pro is a door opens in 3 dimensions. The door opens toward you and it goes into a 3rd dimension. A wall can just be a 2D thing. So Premiere Pro doesn't have real 3D, but it's got basic 3D, which is faking it. And I'll show you how to get over the shortcomings with basic 3D. Then I'm going to show you my full real 3D door opening from After Effects in Premiere Pro. So I made a Mogurt to work in Premiere Pro. It's real 3D. It swings in 3D. You can change the lights, turn the lights on and off, change the color of the lights, and you can completely swap out the background wall, the door, everything about it. It's pretty darn cool. Let's go have a look at the simple Premiere Pro method first. So here it is finished. And this is a layered Photoshop file, and I have my transparency grid turned on, just so you can see that it is in fact transparent. And whatever you put, if I moved all of this up one track, whatever you put in the lowest track would show inside. So you can put an outdoor scene or a face or animation video, anything will show through. So this is made up of several layers of a Photoshop file. The parts that are animated are the door handle and the door, because they are separate. Now, I'm going to just delete all of the keyframes right now for the door handle and turn it off. And I'll delete all of the keyframes also for the door. So now nothing's opening. In your effects, if you look for basic 3D, there it is, and you add that into the effects, it'll show up in the effects controls for the door layers, or any door or any shape. I mean, you could use any image inside Photoshop and do this. You start by clicking on the swivel keyframe, and we add a keyframe at 0. Move ahead, and if you twirl this, if you move this with the mouse, move it to the left and you get a negative value, you'll open the door, but you'll see one of the problems with the Swivel 3D. The Swivel 3D swivels from the center of a shape. So wherever it is, it swivels on the center. We would like it to swivel on the edge where the hinge is. There's no way to do that in Premiere Pro. It doesn't have that capability. So you have to add position and scale information to fake it. It's not that hard. Okay, so let's say the door opens to there. Here's a little tip. If you want to make sure you're on the right keyframe, you can jump to the keyframes with these, or just hold the shift key as you move this around. Okay, so that's where the door is here. You can see it's off to the left and it's too small. So if we go back to the beginning and add a keyframe for position and a keyframe for scale, so they start there, then we go to the end, and I like dragging in here instead of trying to move it over there. So I'll drag this over, and you can see I can get it near the end, but just due to the way the shape works in 3D, you just change the scale. So we change the scale, it also changes the position, so then we got to scooch that over a little bit. So that's the end, that's the beginning. The problem is you can see it still moves kind of wonky. So we go part way, move it over, and you just tweak it back over here. We need to move that over. It's not perfect. Right there jumps Okay, so once you're done that, you want right now that the handle's going to stay in one place. If you select the door layer and copy it, make sure you're at the beginning, select the doorknob, right click, paste attributes, make sure the basic 3D and motion settings are on, and now the door opens. Boop. And you can see one of the inherent problems is you don't see a depth on the door and you don't see the handle sticking out. If you want to change the speed, grab all of the keyframes and move them. And it might mess up your other ones, but if it does, you have to move those around. So that's how you do it in Premiere Pro. It's not really 3D, it's 2.5D. Now let's look at real 3D. I'm going to go to my graphics workspace. This is where you'll load the Mogert. And you can load it into your local ones by clicking here, managing additional folders, and just point to the folder, add to that folder, and then select that folder. I have mine in my Goldmaster Mogert here. Drag that to V2 because you want to put something below that to see through, and immediately you'll get a red bar. This is a full three-dimensional After Effects camera, After Effects lights, and After Effects slowness. It's slow on my system, so if you have a slow system, it's going to be slow on yours. You can still export perfect quality, but don't expect this to be lickety-split. In fact, turn this down to 1/4 resolution. The output is still going to be fine, but now you can see, and you see the low resolution of it as it's moving. But look at the handle. The handle is a real 3D handle. And you have to use the classic method in After Effects to be able to do that. That means that that handle is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different shapes that I had to align and position and stick on that door and animate and move that whole thing. It was a lot of work. The door has depth. You can see it has an edge with depth. And you can see the lowest track below it. If you select it after you've got it in the timeline and look in the effects under edit, you'll see several categories. So here's the credits. Thanks so much to John Colombo for his expression fixing at Adobe, and Igor, Steve, and Mango Talk for all of their help. Mango Talk was the first person that reached out and asked how to do this. And that's what started it all. Okay, so let's open up images and you'll see the wall, floor, back door, front door, top trim, left trim, right trim, baseboard, and door edge. Any images can be used for this. So they don't have to be nice, pretty lined up wallpapers and edges. They can be anything you want. So let me show you changing this to the graffiti. So we'll do the wall first. So this is just a JPEG, and I'll drag this over to the wall. There we get this graffiti wall. There's a front and a back door. And there's the back door. There's the door trim, and the door trim you have to drag that to the top, to the left, and to the right. And then we've got the baseboard. Which I have this drippy kind of look. And then on the bottom, on the floor, I have this pavement looking thing. So now we've got this. And what I'll do is drag in the parking garage. It's a little bit small, so I'll scale that up. And there we go. We're opening up that parking garage. And you'll notice that this pavement is very neutral and this inside is very warm. So if you look below the images, oh, by the way, we'll get to the door controls in a second. There's lighting controls. So there's a rear light and a front light. So these are the shadows. So you'll see the little shadow under there. And this is the front shadow. If you turn the rear light off, then you turn the light off that's spilling in here. If you turn it up, you can see the light spill in. So although this is coming into the front, it's a light that's coming from the back. So if we click on the color and warm this up a little bit, so now the light is warmer. You can also get some interesting effects if we close the door and turn the front light down. And now watch what happens when the door opens and the light spills through. It's different, moody kind of look. Woohoo! Let's turn that back up. If we open up the door controls, there's two angles. The open angle is -120 degrees. That way it opens forward. The close angle is also the same. So if you have both of these the same, then the door will stay open. It'll open from the beginning. You can't change the beginning, it's closed. And then the opening angle is how far it opens. And then the last angle is what happens at the end, which you could close. So if I select this and make it 0, when we get to the end, the door will close. And you can extend this longer. So right now it's just under 20 seconds, but you could drag that out indefinitely. You can also drag this around here, and you can drag this. So let's keep that at 0. And instead of opening that way, you go to a positive value and you can open the door inside. So it starts, remember this is slow. It starts and opens, and then at the end it closes. Even on my computer, it's a slow job. The handle color, I could click in here and also maybe warm that up a little bit. Or change it to make it match the door, make it blue. And whatever you put underneath is going to show through. And here are some examples with audio and background animations. So the last example you see is a nightclub, which was my wife's suggestion. And for that, I needed some music. So I used music from a great friend of mine, Adham Shaikh, amazing musician, incredible, classically trained composer. And you can check him out. There'll be a link in the description of where you can check him out. Amazing music. Can I just tell you a quick little, I worked with him out in Vancouver when I lived out there for 3 years. And one day while I was working for Adobe, I don't know how many people remember that iTunes used to have a free radio stream. And one of the streams was ambient music. And I was sitting working in my hotel room listening to ambient music. And I'm listening to it. Most of the stuff is going in one ear, one out the other. And all of a sudden I'm hearing something. Whoa, that's awesome. Who does that? And I look up and it says Adham Shaikh, and it's like, what? So we've been in contact since then, because once I left Vancouver, we kind of lost contact, but we're connected again. Check his music out. Incredible stuff. If you get a chance to see him live, great guy, great musician. Okay, so how do you get these guys? Well, if you become a paying member at VideoRevealed.com, so there's a donation amount once or monthly. Whenever you become a paid member, so if you already have purchased the tickers or purchased the split screens or donated any amount, then you get the members section. If you go to the members section, then you can download it. I'll just show you what that looks like here. So typically when you're at the shop and you're looking at all of this stuff and downloading this, once you log in and you have a paid account, there's a members section here. And there it is. And there's a few things here that you can download, and I'll be adding more. You just click on this and it downloads everything. You'll get one zip file that has the Photoshop layers for the first door. I don't have license for the graffiti stuff and everything else. So you just get the first door, and you get the the Photoshop file with the Premiere Pro project already animated the way I showed at the beginning, plus you get the new 3D Mogurt After Effects. It's slow, but it works pretty darn good. So you can install that, use that any way you want. I'd be really interested to see how people replace the images inside here, because you could do some pretty crazy stuff. So this is the first time I'm venturing out on an After Effects Mogurt. Love to know what you think. And hopefully you think it's worthwhile. I'm letting you pick your own price. And hopefully you'll see the value in this. If you're going to use this, it can be used in many different ways. So I hope you like it. Hey, if you're new to Video Revealed and you have found this informative, then take a moment and subscribe. To all of our wonderful donors, you better get over there into the member section and grab this right away, because it's sitting there waiting for you. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated and supported Premiere Pro, and any of our new folks that are coming on to donate. We do appreciate that. You can go to VideoRevealed.com/shop, donate once, monthly, go grab all your stuff from the members section. There's a bunch of free stuff in the shop and other things you can buy. Till next time, I'm Colin Smith, and it's my job to listen to people who reach out to me, and a light bulb goes off in my head, and I end up creating some cool stuff that hopefully you'll find very useful.